So let's address the question in the room, what is solfege? Solfege, in short, is a bunch of nonsense syllables. But these nonsense syllables help us make sense of where we are within a scale being a collection of notes in succession played in a linear fashion. In other words, let's say we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, known as the major scale. If I play a C, this feels like home base. We're going to call home base Do. Now if I play another note within the scale, it would be good for us to be able to identify which note is that. Is it the second note in the scale? Re. Is it the sixth note in the scale? La. This is all super important as you start to develop as a musician. If you're listening to a pop song and you want to be able to translate it and understand what is the melody and how do I play it on my instrument, well, solfege is going to be the thing that helps you with that. So these nonsense syllables all have a consonant to start, followed by a vowel sound. And the type of vowel sound selected can actually help us tune the note. So flattened sounds take on an A or ah sound, whereas sharpened sounds, notes moving higher, take on an E sound, where E pulls up in its fluctuation, A and ah pull down for the most part. You could go E and A, you can fake it, but for the most part, instinctively, that would be the fluctuation for those vowels. So they can help us tune notes, but most importantly, I believe, is the compartmentalization of scale degrees. Knowing that the first note of a scale starts with the consonant D. The second note of a scale starts with the consonant R. So re, the second note of a scale, for example, could be raised to a re or lowered to a ra. But R is still consistent between all of those versions of the second scale degree. So the consonant helps us compartmentalize where we are in the scale. The vowel helps us with the tuning of that note. And all the ear tests and challenges that I'm going to be giving you throughout these courses are going to help you develop your solfege so that you have a better understanding of where you are within a scale and what makes certain melodies stand out to you. I really like the sound of Do down to T and then descending, sometimes to So, sometimes to Mi. As an example, I just really like that sound. So as you start to understand solfege more and apply it and try to understand it within different environments of melodies that you like, you might start to notice some sort of common ground for the melodies that you prefer the most. So the consonant helps us compartmentalize what degree we're on. The vowel helps us with the tuning and then navigating through patterns that we see quite often within our solfege is going to allow us to hear melodies in our head before we get to the instrument, or hear a melody on the radio or Spotify or wherever it happens to be and say, that sounds like a La So Mi. I really like how they used that solfege or that piece of that melody within that song. Now, music doesn't all have to get that granular. It's not about always knowing the solfege and always knowing everything that's happening under the hood. That sort of sucks out some of the enjoyment and the fun of just listening passively. But there's listening passively, just enjoying music, listening in the background, or listening actively, challenging yourself with seeing if you can understand what's happening within the song on a theoretical level. That's where solfege is going to help you, specifically in the environment of melodies and intervals, and also, as we'll discuss within these courses, playing a note against a chord and understanding the relation of that note with the chord. So what is solfege? Well, as you've heard, it can be a pretty long answer, but the short answer is it's a way for us to make sense of where we are within a scale, or to make sense of melodies. So we're going to be diving into solfege at such a level where as you go through these courses, I believe that these courses could help you heighten your musicianship more than many other courses available on the internet. I say that because during my undergrad degree, solfege was the thing that helped me connect all the dots. I was a pretty good improviser, I was a pretty good classical pianist, and I was starting to learn jazz improvisation, but some of the improv tricks that I had from before weren't translating to the level that I needed them to for that particular degree. But once I learned solfege and the colorization of each notes and the relation of those notes to harmony, well, that just opened everything up for me. So I hope that solfege can help you the same way that it helped me. It took me a couple years to figure out exactly how to lay out these courses, so everything is very deliberate from this point forward to help you make the most progress with your solfege and to heighten your musicianship as much as possible. I'll see you in the next class.